Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today this is game 2 of a best of 3 between TSLPolt, who is the blue Terran player in the right position, and IMYongHwa, who is the red Protoss in the left position. As I said, this is game 2 of a best of 3. It is from the IPL5 Korean qualifiers and it is super good. So seriously, check out the playlist. I put all of these videos in a playlist together so you can basically watch all the IPL5 Korean qualifiers I cast, which, well, it's top level. I mean, it really is. So do keep an eye on it. What else do we have? Well, obviously, if you haven't watched game 1, pause this video, go to my channel, check out game 1. That's important. But what do you need to know about it? That it's fantastic, and it did actually go to Yonghwa, who did a really nice push. So obviously Polt, he needs to win this to stay in and force it to a game 3. Otherwise, Yonghwa is going to advance 2-0, which is nothing but good for him, but nothing but bad for Polt. So, what can we expect from these players? Firstly, we've got Polt, who is probably going to go for a fairly standard Marine Maraud and Medevac aim, because it's just so good, and that's to really force Yonghwa into getting that AoE damage in the form of either Colossi or High Templar with Storm. Those are his two options, and they're countered by either Vikings or Ghosts. So, this is going to be pretty straight up. I mean, there's other things they can do. There's obviously cheese options, which I don't expect being on the Korean server, or Korean players, they don't tend to favour the kind of more cheesy options, preferring the macro games. And also, I mean, there's a couple of more stranger strategies. I mean, Polt could get tanks, for example. Yonghwa game 1 went DTs. It's, of course, an option into the opening. So, there are different things these players can do. I don't expect to see DTs again from Yonghwa. It was kind of a trump card at the start. It did quite a bit of damage, but not an absolute huge amount. The map, of course, is Antigua. It's the GSL version, so it's forced cross spawns, and there is the supply depot preventing offensive wall off. And, well, time will tell what these players are going to do. First gas is down, of course, for Yonghwa. No gas at all yet for Polt, suggesting he may be going for something like a 1-Rax command center, especially if he doesn't get a gas shortly. That's the real tell. No gas means either a lot of tier 1 units or a quick expansion. The 1 gas says I'm going to be getting my key tech, but not really heavily teching to anything or sort of a DT rush. The second gas is what indicates that they're going super heavy in terms of tech. So that's what these scouting workers are looking for, is the gas count, and why you hear so many pros and higher level players saying, I want to count the gas. The second gas, for example, says a huge amount. It says, well, this second gas means that Yonghwa is going to be teching pretty hard. We do have a Stalker on its way, getting chrono boosted out. Where the chrono boosts are spent as well is very, very telling. The command center on the way out for Polt, so he did go for that 1-Rax command center. The likely follow-up is 2 additional barracks, just to keep the production high, get the Marines out for defensive purposes. But so far, Yonghwa, he has got no sign of wanting to expand. He's going to stay on one base for quite a while. What tech he goes for is the really important thing, but a sentry coming out, that on its own is quite telling. A Stalker sentry can be very, very effective. We do have quite a few Marines here for Polt, getting ready to defend. Obviously they're coming up. Here are the 2 additional barracks as expected, and while these Marines keep pumping out, there's quite a long rush distance. If this bunker finishes as well, we will see Yonghwa have trouble trying to push into that. But Yonghwa, he's expanding himself now. He's getting quite high on the gas, but he's doing that to get the sentry count higher. We'll probably see a second sentry start straight away. So these sentries, very, very good for defensive purposes. The force fields mean that if Polt did try to put on pressure, Yonghwa would be absolutely safe from it. 1 gas coming down for the moment at here at Polt's base. Will be interesting to see when the second gas comes down. That Stalker trying to do some damage, but is not going to get away with it. And now that bunker's finished, it's definitely not going to be anything but a scout for Yonghwa on its own. 2 more gateways being thrown down here. That'll take Yonghwa up to 3 gate, which again is very, very standard. In terms of his defense, it was a sentry expand going into 3 gates. Means he can just really start building up that offensive force to put on some pressure if he wants to. He may wait for higher tech units, only time will tell. For Polt, on the other hand, he is just getting that second gas up now. He's also getting a tech lab, that'll be for Stim wrecks gateway units. It's absolutely crazy. The timing of the factory will be interesting as well, to get an idea of when medevacs will be coming out, if they do at all. Obviously ghosts may be rushed. There's different options available to Polt in what she does. Yonghwa, he's getting up that first forge. He's also just about to get the second and third gateway in. The forge on its own means upgrades are going to be a priority. If you remember in game 1, Yonghwa got to 3-3 before getting that final push. He stayed ahead in upgrades from Polt by utilising chrono boosts on a double forge. There is no sign of an engineering bay at all from Polt at the moment. Getting a second bunker though, so clearly a bit worried about something pushing into him, and essentially that is what it's going to be. Sorry there, you know when you get like a half yawn, it's really, really bad. But anyway, so what is going down Polt? He's just trying to push out to get as much information as he can before crawling back into those bunkers. We have a robo facility on its way out for our Protoss buddy. Probably going to go Colossi tech, almost certainly, and that basically means Polt needs to start the Viking production. But his first factory only just out now. He's got no medevacs. Obviously that's fine at the moment, but if you've got to make a choice between medevacs and Vikings when there's Colossus out, what do you do? We do have the engineering bay as well for Polt now, so he is going to be selling the upgrades, but of course that +1 ground armor, already a quarter done for IMYongHwa. So why do we have the armor as opposed to the weapons? Well, that is simply down to the fact Marines, they do high DPS because they have a high attack speed but low damage output, which means that the armor upgrade is very, very significant. A similar time you might go for that is against, say, Zerglings. They don't hit for much per hit, but they hit very, very fast. So if you reduce each hit by 1, it's very significant. So as a general rule, if you have fast attacking units, get the weapon upgrade. If you're facing against fast attacking units, get the armor upgrade first, and that's just a general rule of thumb. Alternatively, I personally like getting double upgrades very, very early. I think it's very, very potent. But we do have Stim about to finish. We've got that reactor coming down on the factory for the starport switch. We do have an observer coming out. We do have the robotics bay on its way as well. So the first Colossus should be started as soon as the robotics bay is done. 2 more gateways, 3 more gateways rather being added on here. That'll take up to 6 gates. That's very, very potent. 6 gate robo is good production off of 2 base for IMYongHwa. And for the moment, Polt, well, he's having to deal with the fact that he's getting more barracks. He's going to just be going really, really mass production mode. But neither of these players look like they're in a position. I'm interested to see what IMYongHwa will do with this pylon. But obviously, I can't foresee either player trying to push in or do any aggression at the moment. Then neither of them are in a position where that seems like their game plan right now. Both attempting to... that was awful. You know when you kind of... It's hard to explain. You just breathe the wrong way, and my mouth just didn't want to deal with it. So, what do we have? Well, we've got the Twilight Council coming out now. We do have Polt looking like he's going to go out. Obviously, those 2 medevacs, they're really significant because they just make this infantry ball so much more effective, especially when 2 more are on the way. Observers are everywhere, though. For IMYongHwa, he knows exactly what's coming. He can get a defensive position. The first Colossus is out. That is essential because that's the splash damage he's going to need to deal with this big infantry ball. It's going to come down now to good force fields, extended thermal lance. It won't finish in time if Polt does just keep charging, and suddenly IMYongHwa, he's going to need some very, very good force fields. Scan goes down for Polt. He's going to see exactly what's here, and he should be pretty confident pushing into it. The second Colossus is on its way, though. That's going to be key. Some good force fields go down. I don't know if that 4th one was needed, but for the moment, that was just some free units there for IMYongHwa, who is now equaling up that supply very, very quickly. We will see Vikings already on the way in production from Polt, just ready to deal with these Colossi. The second Colossi is out now, and that is going to help so, so much. We do have Blink coming out. We've got extended thermal lance about to finish again. That's significant. We have concussive shells and the +1 infantry armor coming out for Polt right now. He's getting 4 marauders at a time, and well, a lot of Vikings. He needs those Vikings ready to deal with the Colossi as their numbers get higher, but production has been temporarily cut. We do have Blink about a half done, a second forge on the way for IMYongHwa. Meanwhile, up at Polt's base, he's securing his 3rd. He's building it right there where he needs it. A second engineering bay, and also that armory coming out now. So this is very similar upgrade timings to game 1 by Polt. But IMYongHwa, he's looking very, very strong. He's about to pick off that factory, which means no more starports unless it is rebuilt. And, well, these rocks, they're going down because Polt does not want IMYongHwa getting that 3rd base. As discussed in game 1, 3 base Protoss can do pretty much whatever they want to. And that is not a position you want to let Protoss get to. This factory is the game's most expensive scout right now. Just poking forward, just seeing what is going on, but the stalker numbers are getting higher, so that could probably get picked off relatively quickly. And Polt, he's got to do something to deal with this. He's preemptively spread his units, so if IMYongHwa does want to go engage, he's going to take a lot of damage, but these stalkers are going to pick off that factory very, very quickly. There's nothing there. A good stim forward, the factory, that's going down any second, burning to death. It's really not too fun, but there it goes. No more factory anymore. No more factory anymore. that's kind of over complicating things, but we do have Polt here with more Vikings coming out, getting a scan just to clear the observer, so obviously IMYongHwa doesn't know exactly what he's doing at all times. Charge is on the way for the Zealots for IMYongHwa, which means obviously they'll be quicker, they can engage this ball better. The 2-2 upgrades are on their way out. +1 ground armor on the way for Polt. About to get, he started +2 infantry weapons as well as +1 ship weapons just to deal with those Colossi. The third Colossi is out. Chrono Boost coming down on these upgrades, although a lot more apparently coming down on the weapons as opposed to the armor, which was started fractionally later. But that of course means the 2-2 will be done before 2-2 for Polt, especially if those Chrono Boosts keep coming out. The fourth Colossi is on its way. For the moment, just a couple of Zealots poking in, trying to be annoying. They'll get some scouting information, but they're going to get taken down really hard right now. We do have IMYongHwa moving across the map actually, and there's this big 4 medevac drop, which is looking like it could get into some problems because it's completely separated from the rest of the army. Polt is essentially split completely in half right now, and he needs to be very careful how he engages this, because otherwise he could lose a lot without killing a lot. Essentially, having the army in half is only going to be beneficial, as IMYongHwa's army is all together. The supplies are incredibly similar right now. A couple of Vikings getting picked off for free. Good forward blink there. The third base up for both players right now. If we look at the income, well, the work count is very, very similar, but once you take mules into account, Polt should be fractionally ahead if you take a quick look. That is exactly where it is. Not by much, but just a little bit in the terms of mineral income. So what is IMYongHwa going to do? He's going to just try and get a good attack position. That's what it all comes down to. But Polt, he's going to get into a nice little sandwich, but some money force fields come down there for IMYongHwa. Nearly instantaneous, a whole wall. While it does stop the Zealots engaging, it prevents these Marines and Marauders taking out the Colossi. And that is exactly why you need the Colossi out, because look how much damage they're doing. IMYongHwa in a great spot. He is now, what's that, about 35 supply ahead, which is pretty damn huge. And Polt, he's doing everything he can, trying to stutter step micro and blink his, and well, stim his way back. But the medevacs, they're taken out. There are only 2 Vikings left, and of course that one Colossi is going to be just so strong. It will kill pretty much everything. Meanwhile, back at Polt's base, he's got the +2 ground weapons done. He's got the +2 infantry armor on their way. That is against the +3 about to finish up here for IMYongHwa. And he's also got Storm coming out, but Ghosts already on the field. The Mobius Reactor coming out, the +2 ship weapons. So this is a bit of a transition for IMYongHwa. Basically just getting those High Templar, and Polt getting the Ghosts isn't even a direct counter to those. I don't think he knows they're coming, but what it does mean is that obviously Polt, he will have the availability to deal a lot of damage in terms of knock out all of the shields with EMPs, which is absolutely huge. We've got a bit of pressure coming in here by Polt. He needs to be careful. He has seen the High Templar though. That's a massive tell of exactly what's going down. This little force will get picked off, but not before quite a few Zealots do. Gonna try and move forward to pick off the High Templar, but a great little Archon morph going down here, which isn't the optimum use of High Templar, but it's better than dead High Templar, so that's always fun. And of course Polt is just getting scouting information now, trying to go in. He'll try and kill a probe or two, but it's going to be pretty damn hard to be honest, because the entire Protoss army is following him. IMYongHwa just absolutely beasting it up with production right now. Polt though, he is also in a good spot, but he is about just over 40 supply behind. He's getting 5 Ghosts at a time though. That's pretty sick. No nukes out though. That makes me a sad face, and that's essentially because there's no factory. So with no factory out, he can't get nukes, and of course the factory was taken out because there was scouting. IMYongHwa is looking to be in such a strong spot though. He is maxed out. He's got those 2 Archons, 3 Colossi, a lot of High Templar. To be honest, I don't see how Polt's going to hold this. He's doing everything he can by spreading out his units. Some huge EMPs are going to have to go off, and the force fields are going to have to be terrible, but Polt at the moment is looking to be struggling. I mean, I don't see how he's going to hold off this force. It doesn't take a genius to realise that is a lot of stuff compared to that. But, well, Polt, he's slowly getting out more things. That extra wave of Marauders is going to help significantly. So is the extra Vikings. Some Stormers go down already. They're getting quite a lot of units with the Colossi Splash as well. This is just melting. IMYongHwa suddenly looking in an amazing spot. Still at 170 odd supply. Almost 100 supply ahead of Polt, although he has just got another wave of stuff incoming. To be honest though, that was a pretty much one-sided fight, and IMYongHwa goes 2-0 against Polt. So I hope you did enjoy this series. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribing would be awesome. Hardy face would be brilliant. And well, any comments or criticisms, leave them below. That'd be cool. Let me know what you think of the cast, of the games. What I really want to know is, do you prefer single games or best of threes? That'd be awesome to know that. So thank you very much for watching. Most importantly, I hope you did enjoy, and tune in again. New casts up daily, so check out. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.